Welcome to the Guidance for Light and Sound Meditation video series with Mark from PureEnergyMeditation.com. This is video number 33 of 45. Hello and welcome back. In the last video we talked about lifestyle choices, in particular the food that we eat and how that affects our vibration. One of the other kind of big questions that I get asked quite often, and even by very experienced meditators, is about drugs. And by that I don't just mean the kind of class A Western drugs. I mean things like Ayahuasca, Peyote, cannabis and various substances which in some cultures they don't even refer to as drugs or narcotics. They see them as medicinal plants, so something very positive. What they've all got in common though is that you're introducing a molecule or a number of molecules that are from some form of either from a plant extract or directly from a plant, and you're introducing them into your body in some way, either orally or injected or smoked or drunk. And what I'm interested in again is not the moralistic, ethical, legal arguments. I'll leave that to other pundits and other people to debate, because that's a social argument, that's a moral argument, that's a belief system based thing. All I'm ever interested in from helping you is practical advice that can lead you towards discovering your true nature, which is love. And so within that, the question is, what's the effect of drugs on you as a spiritual being, on you as a energy being that is sensitive to vibration? So we're going to step away from the whole moral side and the ethical debate and things like that. That's something you can just come to your own conclusions about. So to understand the effect of drugs, and by that I mean medicinal plants, drugs, herb, peyote, ayahuasca and all these things, we need to understand how they actually work, okay? So we know we've got a physical body, and we're coming to explore and realize that we also have an energy body, as well as an emotional body and a mental body. So this energy body is what people refer to as an aura, or in kind of more modern parlance, people refer to it as a biofield or that kind of thing. They're just trying to quantify it from a scientific point of view. But we emit an energy field. But the reality is we don't actually emit it. Our energy field is what controls, governs and creates our physical body. In other words, aura first, body second. And there's a really lovely, beautiful interplay between the way your body functions and the way your aura functions. And within that aura, then we have our energy centers, which we call chakras, and we have meridian lines. And the kind of vibrational level between your aura and your physical body is your etheric body, or what's known as the etheric web. And the etheric web, one of its functions is it acts like the blueprint for your physical body. So if it becomes disturbed or broken, then the physical body will resultingly become disturbed and diseased. And the etheric web interacts with your physical body through the vibrations of the minerals in your physical body. So that's why a good diet is really, really helpful for well-being. Because if you're deficient in minerals, then your aura, via your etheric web, cannot easily interact with your physical body. So there's this interplay between what's going on in your physical body and your aura. And the two work well together. That's how they're supposed to work. One supports the other. And at various times you've got energy moving around your body in terms of your different organs and the different meridians. And this is the basis of things like Chinese medicine and acupuncture points and things like this. When you take a plant-based substance or any kind of synthetic substance that has a certain vibration, then when you introduce that into this very balanced, harmonious system, it creates disharmony. Most drugs work by disrupting the interplay between the aura and the physical body. And what happens is you put something into your physical body, and it shifts the vibration of the physical body and it moves it out of alignment with the vibration of the aura. And so you might say that the drug or the substance raises or disrupts the vibration. So the physical body becomes hot, and the aura can no longer interface with it because they should be at the same frequency, and they're no longer at the same frequency. So the aura temporarily detaches. Now, one of the roles of the aura is to stop higher energy, for example, astral energy, from coming into direct contact with your physical body, because astral energy is much, much faster than physical energy. And it's not supposed to be experienced from the physical body. So one of the roles of the etheric web in particular is it's like the shield protecting you from astral energy. Now, in the I Ching symbology, the symbol for fire is a straight line, another straight line, and between them a broken line. In other words, fire is what happens when astral energy enters into the physical world. So the bottom line is the physical plane, the next line is the astral plane, and fire is the bridge between them. And what this means from a vibrational point of view is that if you disrupt the aura and the synergy of the aura from the physical body, while the physical body isn't protected, it is exposed to astral energy. And that's like having a waking dream. So a lot of the hallucinogenic aspects of drugs is because suddenly astral energy, which is your dream body, is flooding into your physical awareness in an unprotected way. And you might go, great, because you're having all these kind of lucid, hallucinogenic experiences. And for a lot of people, that's very exciting. But it's also generating heat, okay? And heat that's not supposed to be there. I don't just mean physical heat, I mean vibrational, a lack of cohesion. So it's burning you, literally. And what happens is, while you're having this high and you're basically being affected by these higher vibrations flooding into you, but also because you've disrupted the natural environment of your physical body, for a lot of drugs and for a lot of people, what happens is it forces your awareness out of your physical body and into one of your subtler bodies. And again, a lot of people go, hey, great, so that's like, it opens my brow chakra, and woo, I go and I have this big psychedelic experience. And aspects of it can be really positive, like I realise that it's all just one and we're all connected, and all of these things, which are really amazing insights. But the problem is how you got there was really disrespectful to your physical body and to the relationship that your physical body has with your energy body. Now, again, judgment aside, what's going to happen when that temporary disruption ends? Okay, so once your physical body, through the liver and the various systems of detoxing, has broken down the drug as best it can and dealt with it, is your aura now has to come back into contact with your physical body. Now, your aura is a lot faster and it shouldn't have left the physical body. And your physical body is now at a different vibration. So instead of them moving along at the same speed where they interface, they're now moving at different speeds. And this is a bit like when an aeroplane comes into land and the aeroplane's doing, 180 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour, and the runway's not moving. And the thing that touches between the plane and the runway is the tyre. And probably most of us have seen a bit of video footage of the aeroplane tyre touching the runway, and poof, there's a big puff of smoke. And that smoke is the energy that's being generated in the terms of friction and heat, because the tyre was moving faster than the runway and they had to catch each other up and resynchronize their speeds. And so as your aura comes in, your body's vibrating out of sync. And to bring the body back into sync, you have to consume some of the energy in your aura, and that gets burnt up in the process. And so you lose some of your aura vibration, you lose some of your vital life, if you like, is sacrificed to bring the physical body back into synchronization with the aura, so that the two can come back together and you can be integrated again. And that's why repeated use of these kinds of stimulants to break apart this connection leaves the aura fundamentally tattered. And I've had quite a few experiences of working with people who, even at a young age, one guy was only about 19, he'd been smoking a lot of dope, and when I sat in his space. So I was basically sitting about 3 or 4 foot behind him. We were at a workshop, and I tuned into his aura, and I'm lucky, or however you want to put it, I can at times perceive auras, and I can be very kind of clear, sentient about someone's energy. It was shocking what I experienced as I kind of just, because he was sitting in my space, he was sitting in my aura, because your aura extends out to your fingertips even before meditation, and after meditation it keeps on expanding. So he was sitting in my space, which meant I could basically be aware of his energy. Instead of being vibrant and full of colour and everything flowing, his aura was like an old worn out suit. It was really heavy. There were patches where it was just threadbare and really, really thin. And there was a lot of what I could only describe as dark, sticky energy in his aura. And when you talk to him, it was like you were talking to someone, but the lights weren't on. He wasn't able to be present because there wasn't enough aura to maintain his presence. In other words, your aura allows you to be consciously awake. It allows you to be present within your vehicles. So you start to break down the aura, and you break down your ability to be present. Now, he did a serious amount of drugs on a daily basis, and he didn't see anything wrong with that. What I was seeing, and again, it's not judgment, but I actually felt quite heartbroken for the kid because he was a young guy, but there was nothing much left. Now, that's his choice, and I don't own his choice. I'm just simply sharing what I observed about a person. And, we are all connected, so if one person suffers, we all suffer. And what I saw was a really strong lesson for me because, at that stage in life, I was curious about drugs as well. And it really showed me he was an extreme user, but it showed me the extremes of what can happen. Now, on going back to what I said about, well, some people will have really positive experiences on drugs. They'll experience their third eye blowing open, they'll leave their body completely, they'll feel universal love. The drugs didn't make those things appear, okay? What happened is, because they disrupted their physical environment by introducing a vibration that shouldn't be there, their consciousness couldn't stay in their physical body because it was basically not the right frequency. So they had to go into their subtle bodies. And for example, the brow chakra will give you certain insights into your spiritual nature. It's not the end of the spiritual journey, it's not even the start of the spiritual journey, but it reveals more of what's already there. If they went into their heart chakra, they just feel universal love and unity within the realms of what the chakra system can explore. But the thing is, they didn't need the drugs to do that. If they just sat down and learned how to meditate, then they could go there voluntarily without forcing the experience and without having any of the negative payoff in terms of reconciling the vibrations of the aura and the physical body. So drugs never create spirituality. They don't open a spiritual doorway, they kick it down, and then your aura gets consumed in the repairing of the damage. So I've never experienced anyone tell me anything that they've noticed on drugs that you couldn't notice from meditation. The difference being, when you do it through meditation, you're not forcing astral energy into the physical body or ripping your consciousness out of your physical body and temporarily shoving it into one of your subtle bodies. You're expanding your awareness to include more of what's already there. In other words, it's not damaging. You're not putting fast energy into a slow vehicle or forcing slower consciousness to speed up temporarily to experience a faster vehicle. You're actually expanding your awareness and your vibrational range naturally so that you can include all of these experiences and all of these bodies in a totally natural way. So you don't need drugs to be spiritual. There's nothing a drug can do that you can't experience totally naturally using meditation. And when you do use these compounds and call them drugs, narcotics, call them herbal medicine or whatever, there's a reason why quite often there's a coming down period, a downer, and that's because of the reconciliation of the damage that has been done. And there is another side to it. So when you have your aura and your physical body in alignment as they should be, one of the other roles of your aura, and in particular your etheric web, is to protect you from outside energy. It's like a little force field. Now, we don't operate in a vacuum, we operate in a soup of energy, and there are energies that are more positive in vibration and more negative in vibration all around us. And your aura, in a sense, is a bit like an immune system. It's keeping stuff that's not good out, and it's allowing you to enjoy the stuff that is harmonious with your own vibration. When you introduce a compound into your body that totally blows away that protective layer temporarily, it's a bit like throwing open the front door to your house and saying to the world at large, come in, and not even having anyone on the door to keep people that you wouldn't want in your house away. So you certainly wouldn't do that in a real world, and yet when people take drugs, that's effectively what they're doing, is they're throwing their energy door open and they're letting anything in, and they have no control over what comes in. And some vibrations can be good and they can have a nice experience, but equally some vibrations can be quite negative, and once they're in, they're not necessarily easy to get rid of. And you know, so there's kind of like a cautionary note here. If you don't really know the bigger picture, but you're throwing your door wide open, how do you know what's actually going on in terms of your energy? Because what we're starting to realize is you're not just a physical body. You have a physical body, you have an emotional body, you have a mind, you have stillness, you have an aura, and you have chakras. There's a lot more going on than that, but that's just keeping it really, really simple. And that's just keeping it to what we can already experience before we move on to much higher forms of meditation. So kind of throwing the door open in a non-discriminatory way is certainly not respecting your vibration as a sentient, intelligent, spiritual being. And since there is nothing a drug can do that you can't do naturally with meditation, then, you know, it just poses the question, why would someone take the risk in terms of what they're letting into their system and potentially cope with the damage in terms of reconciling the aura and the physical body when you can do it all perfectly naturally? So again, find out for yourself. But when you look at the whole drug thing from a spiritual journey point of view, the drug is a physical thing. It exists on the physical level, and it interacts with the physical body. And as I said, it through disruption and through creating an environment that you can't tolerate temporarily, it forces your consciousness away from the physical body, and it allows energy that shouldn't be there in terms of astral energy or in terms of vibrations that are either negative or positive. Nowhere in that is there anything beyond what you've already got access to. So the idea that a physical compound can suddenly open a doorway to higher spiritual consciousness is a bit flawed, because it's operating within the limits that you're operating within. So if there is a secret door, then you'd be able to open it anyway, because you already have access to all your vibrations, to all your vehicles. So when people talk about spiritual awakening through drugs, it's kind of, what they mean is you're having an awareness, not necessarily spiritual, but you're having awareness of what's already there and what you've already got access to. But it can't take you any further. It can't take you beyond your limits, because it's already operating within the limits, and a part of the limit cannot reveal more than the limit itself. In other words, you're putting a drug into your physical body, which is part of what you already are. It's changing the vibration of your physical body and therefore forcing you to experience other aspects of what you already are. But what it can't do is reveal more than what you already are. So a drug will never take you past your own limits. It may temporarily force you into experiences within your limits, and those limits, by the way, are vast. So we talked a little bit about the brow chakra, the heart chakra, your energy system, Your birthright in terms of what you can access is massive. So there's entire planes of intuition, there's the atomic principle. We'll talk a little bit more about this later on. So yeah, you can have these mind-blowingly expansive experiences, but just understand that an experience itself requires you to be observing something and therefore separate from it. And true spiritual nature is not an experience, it's a permanent expansion to become higher vibrations, with the ultimate expansion being unity. So there's nothing spiritually growing in a drug experience. It's a temporary forcing of your consciousness into something, into a space that you already have access to. And therefore, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the damage when you can actually do it perfectly naturally? So, you know, as with everything I'm presenting, I'm giving you the information, but I want you to really find out for yourself and to discriminate based on your own experiences. Because ultimately what has value is what you know from your own realizations. So hopefully this has helped kind of gain some clarity on what drugs are doing, how, you know, can they reveal spiritual consciousness beyond what you've already got access to? Is there any danger to them? And by danger, I mean, from a vibrational point of view, are they causing damage? And the answer is, in a lot of cases, yes. And the final thing is that on a physical level, there can be, because I was talking about when you throw the door open, it can change your vibration because energies can flow in that wouldn't normally be able to come in. What can happen is when you do this, if you do a drug and you throw open your energy doors, if negativity comes in, your vibration drops. And once the doors are closed, it stays inside you. And that negativity, if you like, will create more of a desire for more of the same. So if you got there by taking a drug, then it will encourage that behavior again and again and again. And this is one of the energetic backdrops to the addictive nature of drugs, in that negativity attracts negativity. So throwing the doors wide open and saying, you know, come on in, and not having any discrimination about what comes in, puts you in this environment where you may have changed your vibration in a way that's going to be very difficult to get away from. So if your orientation is towards love, then, you know, you should pursue it in a loving way, and respecting your vibration is one of the demonstrations of love. From a meditation point of view and from a spiritual guidance point of view, then I would recommend that you investigate natural ways of exploring your consciousness. And, you know, I'm erring on the side of not saying you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, but really think about the choices you can make and ask yourself, you know, from an intuitive point of view as well, does it make sense to go down the drug route, you know? And if you have, and you do, then, you know, there's no judgment. Many of the people I've taught have done that in the past, but they've reached a point where they realize that there's a limit to what it can do, but they're starting to notice as well the cost of doing it. Whereas people that just meditate notice that they just get more and more benefits, and it doesn't cost them anything. In fact, it enriches their lives in terms of vibration, health, well-being, integration, and all those things that in a way are robbed from a person if they start to disrupt the natural interaction between their aura and their body. So again, it's quite a sensitive subject. Hopefully you understand I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just here to provide the insights that I have, and to give you an opportunity to reflect and understand where your kind of orientation is, and to give you an opportunity at least to explore thinking about things in a different way. So hopefully this has been of use. And if you have got, you know, if you want to find out more about, for example, ayahuasca, then there's an article which is in the description, so you can link through from there. And I'll leave you with that. The last few videos, by the way, have been much more practical information based, so talking about diet, talking about vibration. We are going to get back more into talking about meditation, but everything that we're talking about now is stuff that's really relevant, because now that we're starting to understand that everything's vibration, it is worthwhile getting to grips with the lifestyle choices that we make and the things we put in our body and stuff like this. So I really appreciate you hanging in there and watching these videos. Hopefully you're getting a lot from them, and do check out the following videos. And if you're at this point where you've just jumped in on this video, then head back to the first video, because a lot of what we're talking about here in terms of aura and vibrations and stuff, we go into a lot more detail, and we also have a lot of guided meditates in the earlier videos that will help you to really experience this firsthand, because what matters most is what you know from your own experience. So I'll leave you with that. I'll see you in the next video. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope you found it enjoyable, but also useful. If you've not already done so, then check out the first video that I did and then all the subsequent videos, because watching them in the order that they're presented, you'll get the most benefit from them. As with all the other things I do, including the teaching, MP3 downloads, articles and the ebook, everything I do for free. And I put it out there simply to help people just like you to get the most from their meditation. So please do feel free to share this video with others. And if you've not already had a look, then head on over to my website, where you'll find lots of downloads, useful articles, and even a free ebook. And most importantly, enjoy meditating and putting into practice these different techniques and things that we're learning. Thank you again for taking the time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.